Hey, what's up? BetterBody90 here. Today I'm gonna give you a video on how to make your own homemade yogurt. Basically just a way to help you save some money, and this is something that will just, an investment you can continuously just reproduce over and over and over again. For anybody that consumes yogurt, you most likely know that it has active live cultures. And what these are, they're actually living good bacteria that, if given the proper environment, will cultivate and basically grow and expand. So what we're gonna do today, making your own homemade yogurt, is take advantage of that. You're gonna take some store-bought yogurt, or I'm gonna take some yogurt that I bought, usually around $3 to $3.50 for one of the 4-cup, the quart containers. And we're gonna reproduce that into half a gallon. You can use really all kinds of different types of milk. You can use skim all the way up to whole milk. I obviously like to use either skim or 1%, and I'm going to show you the ingredients and some of the tools that you need. It's basically a one-time investment. You get all the tools and the ingredients that you're going to need, and from there you can just continuously reproduce this. And I'm going to tell you how here. So follow along here. I'm going to point out the ingredients and then show you the process of how you do this. It's really easy. It just takes time, and I'm going to talk about that as we go here. All right, as for the ingredients, these are the main things that you need, and I'll explain each one real quick here. You're going to want, obviously, some sort of yogurt. I like to go with the organic, natural stuff, basically because, I also go with the plain. It doesn't have any sugars. You might as well go with plain. You can add flavoring, you can add sugar and all that, as I'll mention, but I like to make it plain and just kind of add berries and stuff to add sweetener. But so basically I've got the plain yogurt here, and you need to make sure that it contains cultures, like this says here. It contains the active cultures. If not, it might just be like a synthetically made yogurt, if it's like one of those generic store ones that it really isn't any good. But so, I went with a brand like this, Stonyfield Farm, an organic brand with active live cultures. You want milk, and you can use skim milk. I use 1% here from Walmart, and that works fine. You can use whole milk if you'd like, but I like to keep the fat down, so 1% is great. And you want non-fat dry milk. You want the dry milk for the reason of texture. If you do not have dry milk, you might end up with a kind of a runny yogurt. Adding the dry milk will really add extra texture, thicken it up a little bit. It all varies on your preference. You don't need it, but you can certainly get it and add the texture. It's about, I think it's like $10 to get the box, but it lasts for a long time. You can use this over and over and over again because you're only using about 1 cup at a time. So now I'm going to show you the tools that you need. All right, now this stuff is this is really easy, really basic, and you can use a variety of different things. But you want a pot here to bring the milk up to a temperature of about 180 degrees. We're going to go through this in the process, but so you want that to warm up the milk to prep it basically for cultivating it for the culture. You need a container to pour the entire mixture together. Once you have everything mixed, you need a container to put it in. This is approximately half a gallon right here. So this is perfect. You need a spoon, something. I use a whisk just to keep the milk. You want to stir it occasionally because you don't want it to burn. And the most crucial thing, something you cannot skip, you need a thermometer. I got this at the dollar store. It was just a cheap candy thermometer, but it works just fine. You need to watch the temperature. This is the most crucial tool in the entire process because it's incredibly easy to make the yogurt, but if you don't have a thermometer, you have no idea what the temperature is. If you don't have the right temperature, you're either gonna end up with sour milk, cottage cheese, or something else that you don't want with little floaties and no. So get a thermometer. It's wicked cheap, and it's exactly what you need. So those are the tools, and now let's get started. I'm going to run you through the process here, and obviously this is going to have some time lapse because it does take some time to do, and I'll explain that, so follow along here. Alright, the first step is really just to warm up the milk. You want to heat it to about 180 degrees, just basically to prep it, to proof it more or less, and get it ready to accept the yogurt. Now you want to heat it up, and then we're going to cool back down. So this is a very important process here. So set it around a little over medium. And obviously you don't want to burn the milk, and it's really easy to scorch milk if you try to do it on high. So do about medium to a medium high, but not fully on high. I'm going to do half a gallon. Alright, so we got 2 quarts in there, or 8 cups of milk. Okay, so now basically this is just time. It just takes some time. So attach your thermometer and prepare to heat up your milk. This is it. This is just milk. You have not added anything. Do not add the yogurt. If you add the yogurt cultures while you're heating this up, you're going to kill it. If you kill it, it's no good. So, treat this as a living thing. You really need to take care here. So, heat the milk up to about 180 degrees slowly, stir occasionally, and watch the thermometer. Once it gets to 180, turn it off, and we're going to cool it down. So, I'm going to go through that now, and I'll be back with you in just a moment. All right, from here the milk is almost heated up to about 180 degrees. This is the point where if you're going to add sweetener, you can add things like sugar, brown sugar, natural organic sugar, anything really that you want to add in there. Personally, I don't, but if you'd like to add sweetener, then this is the time to do it because it's going to melt that sugar crystal down. You do want to make sure to continue to stir it because if you don't, it's going to burn on and basically be pretty nasty. So at this point, we're going to bring it up a couple more degrees to just about 180 degrees and get the milk nice and tempered and ready to go. And from that point, we're going to cool it down. I'll show you that in just a moment here. So, basically get this removed from the heat and we're going to set it in the water and keep that thermometer in there because you're going to want to check back, often and make sure that, the temperature is not falling too quickly. Once you get about 120 degrees Fahrenheit, that is where you're going to want to add your yogurt and your dry milk. It's a little bit warmer there. I'd start with the dry milk and then toss in the yogurt because those ingredients are going to automatically cool it down. So you're going to lose a couple degrees just like that. So you don't cool it down to 110 and then add because then you'll be down to 100 and you'll have to warm it up. So basically just keep that in mind. All right, from here I'm just going to cool this down and basically this is just going to take some time. Okay, got it set in there. So I've got the gauge in. I'm just going to watch this as it cools down to about 120 degrees. Then we're going to toss in the next thing of ingredients, which is our yogurt and our non-fat dry milk. All right, it's cooled down to about 120 degrees Fahrenheit now. So I'm just going to toss in the non-fat dry milk. Doing a half a gallon here for portions. So you probably want to do about 1 to 2 cups of dry milk. It all depends on the texture you want. 2 cups is going to be really, really thick. So if you like thick yogurt, then go for it. But I'm going to drop in about probably about a cup for the half gallon here. It's really simple. You just simply measure it out, dump it in, and just like that. So stir that in, and again, pay attention to the temperature. You want to make sure it gets to about 115 degrees when you add the yogurt. Too hot will kill all the cultures, and that's pointless because now you've got a dead milk basically. Now nothing's gonna happen. You've got, you can't cool down too much or it'll be really slow to culture or it won't culture at all because it'll be too cold. So perfect temperature, right about 115 degrees, somewhere around there. 115, 118, that's where you want to keep it. And that's why this is complicated, if you will, just for the simple fact that you need to watch the temperature and keep it where it's at. Other than that, the process itself is really, really simple and you can duplicate this over and over and over again. There's a point where your cultures here will become weak and because you can use your own homemade yogurt here to duplicate and use, about a cup of that. You need about a cup of yogurt. Half a cup to about a cup of yogurt each time you make it. So just save out about a half cup to a cup and put that aside. Put it in some ice cube trays, freeze it, whatever you'd like to do to hold it longer. And you can continue to duplicate, do the same recipe over and over and over again. So it's basically, that's what I'm saying, it's a one-time investment to do this. So just stir it in here and keep an eye on the temperature. Just basically make sure it's all mixed up. And I'm gonna toss in the yogurt here in just a second. Yeah, it's about, it's a little about 120 right now, so it's not too bad. So I'm just gonna stir this up a little bit, make sure everything's all mixed. I'm not measuring this out, but I know there's about 1 cup left in here. I've been eating out of this as I went, so it's right down there. I saved this last little bit so I could actually make this video for you. I had made this yogurt before, homemade, but I went through it and I didn't get around to actually making some fresh yogurt. Not that it takes time, I just didn't get around to it, so I bought some more to do this video for you. So I'm gonna just toss this in, about a cup left. We'll just pour it over.